guys. So we're currently up here in, I was gonna say Waterloo, New York, but I just left there. That's where I shower and I usually fill up as I head out of Boston, the Boston region. But we're heading west, you know, and there's still at least half the snow that came with that storm from a couple weeks ago. Never fails to. As soon as I start recording, all of a sudden I got a cough. The throat starts acting up. But yeah, you can barely see the grass in some of these. There's actually quite a bit more snow behind me. Fun fact: if you think Buffalo region, which is about 70 miles straight ahead of me, gets the most snow in upstate New York, you'd be wrong. It's the Syracuse region, part of the state. So more middle of the state. Middle of the state up to the lake area. I forget the interstate that runs right up through Syracuse also, but that's the region of all of upstate New York, and they get the most snow. And it's by quite a bit too. But yeah, that's not going to be, there's going to be a couple things being said in this video, but I figured I'd get some little bullshit things out of the way. Currently it's Valentine's Day, right? So the 14th. But last Sunday, whatever the fuck it was, the 8th, I believe it was. I'm not looking at the calendar, trying to do math out my head real fast. That sounds a little off. I think the 9th was Monday, but whatever. You know, I slept at home, right? I got home Sunday, slept there. Nothing wrong with the truck, right? Come back, to the truck Monday morning to head out, and I wasn't paying attention because to the ground, but I was getting ready to load some things up in the truck. The cat was on the dash. I looked up, waved at the cat, went over to the truck, fired it up, load things in the truck. In the middle of loading things in the truck, though, I looked down the ground in front of the truck, and there's cooler underneath the truck. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because, shouldn't just randomly happen, especially overnight. Oh, thermostat took a shit. And the thermostat itself is working. The gasket that comes with the thermostat, the seal, that just got pitted apart to enough to where it started leaking, which it ended up lasting like 680,000 miles. So not bad, Volvo, not bad. Especially with how much coolant goes through that thing. But luckily, I had the part on hand, for over a year at that point. I bought it last year. Don't remember why. I think it was like $50 or whatever. I was like, I'll have it just in case style part. Especially when it's so cheap and doesn't take a lot of space, right? Which I'm glad I did. But problem is though, my town used to have a TDA service, but I think because between a combination of the shitty ass manager attitude, the attitude of the manager, which for those who know the story that I told a while ago, and it being on such a, well, I don't know, it's not a highly traveled interstate, where that shop is, on I-25. They didn't even last 2 years. Brand new shop. They built it. That's not a TA. Where it's at is not a TA place. So they built the shop there. Only a TA service center, right? Not like the truck stop itself is AM Best. Like it's not a TA shop or TA truck stop. So all that money is spent to build a fucking shop in less than 2 years. I think a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. That shut down. Says a lot right there. But so I've had this thermostat that I have to now figure out because I gotta drop to I-80, and there's a lot of little ass towns that I'm going through before I even get to I-80. And I was trying to line it up to where I can get fuel, do a break, and get it done at the same time, which would be York. And well, it ended up lining up. Fuck. I think I drank my drink a little too fast. Ended up lining up. I lost a little bit of coolant. That's all I lost. So once it got up to operating temp and held it, got up there, I didn't lose any more coolant. Not noticeable at least, right? Like when I got to the shop, it was still full. So I don't know. There's one problem taken care of though. 2 hours, 12 minutes. They charge me 2 hours flat. They charge by the hour. So props to you, Petro in York. Now I gotta get the other problems, taken care of. But there's a big issue I've noticed out here when it comes to owner ops and owning trucks, running trucks, or whatever. They think like, okay, for example, let's say you're in an authority, right? It doesn't matter like if you're leased on authority, whatever. It's the same concept, right? Let's say like I have my own authority right now, and what I do. I make about I gross 33,000 consistently every month because I'm doing dedicated stuff, right? So my rates will change, but they won't change anywhere near what the spot market does. So they're very consistent. Like for example, going west last year, I made $7,000 for the week, right? Now it's 6,500, whatever, right? But here we are, about 8 months of 6,500 going west. So that's what I'm saying. My shit's very consistent. So you would have too many owner ops out here think that they make, let's just say 34,000, right? They make 34,000, 33,000, whatever number you want to use, and they go, I made that. No, you didn't make that. Your truck made that, and that's the reason why a lot of people fail. And I'm not gonna act like I'm doing amazing, right? I'm doing well enough, but not doing amazing. I can always use more money. Always use more. Because more gives me more ceiling to work with. More space. More breathing room. Right? Especially since I still have payments, right? It's a different, like, as I start getting paid, equipment paid off, the equipment will give me, become my breathing space, for example. Especially over, a year. Take away a truck payment for a year, there's 36 grand. I turned a 3-year loan into a 2-year loan. So there's 36,000 I'm no longer paying a year. There's $36,000 more in my pocket a year, right? But too many owner ops think they made 34 grand. No, your truck made 34 grand. If you want to be successful, the best thing I'll tell anybody, this is probably like when it comes to pay, and I'm very adamant on this, pay yourself a salary. That's it. Currently, I'm only paying myself $1,400 a week until the truck's paid off, right? Well, actually, no, that's no longer the case. I'm going to bump it up here in March to about $1,750. But pay yourself a salary. You don't make 34 grand. The truck makes all the money, and then the truck pays you. When you start thinking about how you made 34 grand, then it's really easy for you to not separate business and personal. It makes it real easy for you to look at all the income as just one, and then and then you spend it. All right. Whereas the truck means set of steers, there's $1,000 to $1,800, right, on average, depending what you get, right? So the braking up here, are these brake lights just stuck on? I think they're stuck on. Yeah, they're stuck on. Yo, I ain't got this moron. Guys in front of me doesn't slow down. Just a container up here, those guys' brake lights stuck on, and now this car wants to dive in front of me to slow down. So that's the best tip, tip I can ever give anybody when it comes to managing a business, managing a truck. Because most people that just spend the money, I think they're short-sighted. Way too short-sighted. What is your game plan? You got pay yourself a salary and have a game plan. What is your long-term goal? You just want to have a paid-off equipment, where you don't worry about anything? Do you want to paid off equipment in every 5-7 years? Get a new truck? Do you want to grow and add trucks? Because my rule that I pretty much live by works as you grow too. For example, if I have 2 trucks doing what I'm doing right now, including driver pay, when I pay my driver, right? truck payment right now, profit-wise, straight profit, would be about 14 grand between the two trucks, right? Now, let's go ahead and take off 4 grand of that, because assuming bullshit's gonna happen each month, right? So there's that, right? So even 10 grand, right? 9 grand, 10 grand. So that's really what I've noticed out here. And just because you see a beat up truck, dude, doesn't make them a shitty owner. Like if you saw my truck right now, you'd see my front bumper's a little fucked up, right? And that's from once I hit the deer on the other side, pretty much not having enough room because of to pull out of a dock because of an ice wall, and instead of hitting the truck with the trailer, because I had to pull out enough to swing the trailer, right? And instead of doing that, and also because I had to do a jacket immediately to the left to leave because just the way the dock's set up. So instead of doing damage to the truck on my right, I decided to do the right thing and just fuck up a corner of my bumper. So the other side is now just the whole corner's gone, right? Because it's surprising how easy it came off too. I think if that was a Freightliner, probably when it came off, but it came off in the Volvo. But the Volvo's bumper is like 6 pieces. It's not like the 3-piece of the pack cars and the Freightliners. But I'm gonna like leave it like that for probably like the summertime when I just put a metal bumper on, right? Doesn't affect the drivability. It ain't pretty, but this truck's seen some better days cosmetically, right? I got paint peeling in spots, like up in my visor, around my hood. So not really too worried about it. It bugs me. This Subaru is gonna drive me fucking bunkers. The same Subaru that blew my doors off and slammed on a brake in front of me for some reason. Now I want to do, barely my speed going uphill. And there we are, doing the same shit again. At least we're going uphill, but hopefully she's going to the service plaza. Or taking this interchange of Bureaus to Top this hill. Or Rochester, I believe. But I could start making videos about what it takes to survive as an owner-op if there's enough interest. Well, that is really where most people fail. Other than running too cheap, right? And you can run cheap enough if your gross is there. But then you're putting on the same amount of miles. So like rate's not everything, because gross can make up for lack of rate. But there is still the fuel cost. You cannot run fuel costs. That is something that's going to be very consistent with miles. Rate helps by eventually outrunning it, but if you can't get rate, the gross is what you need to outrun rates, or outrun the fuel cost. Because fuel cost is your biggest cost. Then depends on the truck. It's either going to be insurance or truck. Cool. She is taking the interchange. But now, see, it's always something to do with these trucks. Like here we are next month. I can do it now, but the way since my loads take a week long, and I use a certain shop, I gotta wait a couple more weeks before I go back to do. Cause I need a new fan clutch, right? Which is not critical. I mean, technically, it is. My fan runs at 100% now, right? Good thing about having an electronic fan clutch is that's a sales thing. It just runs full speed all the time. The wires are corroded. That's what's wrong. So the fan clutch itself is fine, and yeah, I could probably get the harness. But at that point, I might as well just buy the whole thing and just get it done for $2 grand, right? But it's just Subarus. Like this is the second one that's blown my doors off to slow down. I'll tell you what though. Oh, look at this. So you're gonna have fucking stupid over here. Yep. But, man, you guys stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye.